When I came back in April 2020, there were a number of site improvements that we wanted to target as a business. A part of that was splitting down the improvements into phases, and phase one was the vehicle pedestrian management system. You never felt comfortable with what was happening on site, you know, with that interface with the transport and the pedestrians.
I think one of the major problems we had was in this area here on my right. We had the block haulier queues. This all stemmed from there not being any good waiting area for the block hauliers. They'd often queue all the way down back past this lane and even spill out onto the main road at the front of the site.
And we also had issues with loading out on the main stockyard.
There was nothing stopping tippers from driving straight in without notifying the shovel driver. And it was also an active two-way traffic system which contained both hauliers and aggregate tippers.
So there was quite a lot of stuff that we had to try and tackle in that phase one of the improvements to the site. As part of the project, we did like a VPMP audit. What really stood out straight away from the front gate was information overload, if you like.
So in terms of tipper and tanker access, we've installed a motorway style sign as the initial thing, so as soon as they come into site they know exactly where they're going, they're not having to wait in long queues. The installation of the barrier across the entrance to the aggregate yard, this ensures that only the shovel driver is in control of who enters his yard. He's completely safe, he can be comfortable to work in his own environment. We also previously had tippers and tankers on a two-way route with hauliers. This has now been reduced to a one-way route which goes all the way around the outside of the site, halving traffic along that route, preventing the degradation of the road during the winter seasons. We moved the car park over to the other side of the site. This freed up a large space for us to use for a haulier waiting area. We've actually increased the number of hauliers that we can get onto the site now, being within the site boundary from around 2 to 6. I think the key to what we've achieved here is that Craig has taken something that needs to be improved on the site. He's really picked it up and just run with it. There's nothing that we've done here that's been overly complicated or indeed overly expensive.
Pretty proud of what we've managed to achieve and the changes that we've made in such a short space of time as well. I can also go home happy and knowing that there's not going to be people driving around the yard coming into contact with my guys that they weren't expecting to be there. So yeah, it feels like a much safer place to be these days.